Okay, as we were talking about that, so we did all these changes. Let's log into our Azure and go ahead with Active Directory and talk about different features or other features of Active Directory as well. So how to make changes to user profiles, how to add a domain as a tenant in Azure domains, how to attach the Azure users to the new company domain. I hope we all have were able to do that, and we can just try to go ahead and log into our Azure and go ahead and um, try to go for more features here. So update your contact information. Really? Okay. Okay. I'll just update this. Excuse me. So if we go to Azure Active Directory, if you're logged into Azure, let's go to Azure Active Directory here. If you're logged into Azure, I hope everyone's logged into Azure. If you're in the home button, in the home, if it's opening like that, allowing again, then you should be seeing Azure Active Directory on the left side. If you're seeing the Azure Active Directory on the left side, let's go to that and go to users. And you should be seeing a lot of users here as we did it last time. I hope everyone is able to see that. Anyone not seeing that? So if anyone not seeing that, okay guys, so let's just go ahead and try to explore more options. I think there are people still connecting, and so I'm kind of just trying to repeat. Okay, there's Shamal again. Okay, so if the users are showing there, so that was our purpose. Now let's just confirm if we can change the user's domain as well. In fact, it is changed already, and I can see that my AzureGuy.site domain is there for my pretty much all the users there. So we were able to change that with the help of Active Directory synchronization. So if that is all done, so pretty much our pilot project is done as well. And what we were talking about in pilot project for connecting all these. So now we're gonna go more further to next topics there. So the next topics would be next topics. So more exploration of let's explore more options. Let's explore more options in Azure Active Directory. Also, let's go for MFA. So what is MFA? Multi-factor authentication. And well, once we are done with the Azure Active Directory other options further, so we're going to go for then after that creating a virtual machine. But we need to at least see once how much is involved in creating a virtual machine, how to create one, what are the main features that are available in terms of security and scalability. So and then we're going to go further ahead with more storage, network, database topics. So let's try to explore more features, more of Active Directory. I'm just going to go back to that Active Directory here. And I am recording that. Yes, I'm recording that. Okay, so we're inside Azure Active Directory here, and we were just concerned about synchronizing users with the help of Active Directory connector, Azure Active Directory connector. So if we go to the users area, this is how it looks like. Now there is another there are many features. You can just have new user created there. We create the new user as well. On the right side, you can see source here. So that source just means that where the user is coming from. Azure Active Directory obviously means that it was created within Azure Active Directory Cloud, and Windows Server AD means that it has been synchronized from that local branch domain controller. So that's a good feature or categorization of which user is coming from where, and if you wanted to make some changes there, how do you make those changes, right? So other than that, we also need to secure the online users once they are online. So how do they really get proper security there? Now I hope everyone has brought their cell phones. What kind of question is that? Yeah, everyone has their cell phones with them, and I hope they are all smartphones. Okay, that's another weird question. So, what are we talking about? Let's talk about MFA first. MFA is multi-factor authentication. Authentication, and this is a security measure for users of Azure who have to log in from the browser, and so browser-based browser-based password, or when you put the password in the browser, it's not that difficult to crack, and hackers do get access to that password with the proper tools. So better have the user use multi-factor authentication, which means so two factors of authentication are used, and one is that the user puts the password while in browser based Azure console, and second is that the user uses Microsoft Authenticator app. Well, there are other ways as well. I mean, you can use some fob or another hardware device that can also generate a random number for 30 seconds. So second is that the user uses Microsoft Authenticator app in their cell phone. In fact, I would recommend that please start downloading that now in your Play Store or App Store, Android or iPhone, right? So second is that the user uses Microsoft Authenticator app in their cell phone. It generates a random number every 30 seconds. So within 30 seconds, we have to put that number in the console after we have placed our username and password. So it next once the number is placed as well, then we log in to the console. So two things we use. We use the username slash password and a random number generated by our mobile security app, right? So that's the two-factor authentication, and in companies, obviously, that is really famous, and it's not, like it's a necessity. It's not a luxury. You have to really install that and configure it. So that Microsoft Authenticator app is going to let us create extra security for the user. So why don't we just do that now and test it on one of our user, and then obviously I'll be giving you some tickets there as well, that how to really get it up and running. So guys, first thing is, so we understand the purpose of that MFA or multi-factor authentication. The purpose is that you put username password as well as a randomly generated number that is created for 30 seconds by an app called Microsoft Authenticator. If within 30 seconds you put that number in from your cell phone, then it will let you log into Azure. If you are unable to put that number, just it will generate another number within 30 seconds, and obviously you have to just put that number within 30 seconds, right? So the first step is, now this is something that you guys have to do with me, obviously. So, and that has I mean, whichever stage you are in the pilot project, so that has nothing to do with this, right? If you have just one user there, root user, that is okay. If you were unable to synchronize all the users from the domain controller, it's okay. You can just still keep on doing that, and that lab has nothing to do with what we're doing here. So all can join me in this lab and follow me, right? So we use the username, password, and a random number generated by our mobile security app. So what we need to do is, let's go to our cell phones and download quickly the app called Microsoft Authenticator, right? Microsoft Authenticator. And then the lab, I'm just going to name it, okay, the lab steps. So and then after you have downloaded the app, then just start it, and we need to wait for so then start it. Now on Azure, let's start the wizard of Azure MultiFactor Authenticator. So MFA wizard. And then you have to really follow the instruction of that code of that MFA wizard. So now on Azure, let's start the wizard of Azure Multi-Factor Authentication, MFA, and we have to scan the MFA code from within our app, and this code will be appearing inside the wizard of MFA, inside the wizard of MFA in Azure. So I'm going to show you now, and hopefully if you are following me, my request is that you can just put it on chat as well, because if there's interaction going on, interactive, or if you're not following me, then you can let me know that, hey, go ahead and just show us the demo, and we'll follow the video later. If you're following me, then I would just ask that you can press yes, type yes in the chat, so I would know that, oh, that he's following me, he's following me, okay. So otherwise, if the chat is totally quiet, so I'll just go at my speed then, and show you the demo and go ahead, right? Better interactive than just me doing it. Then I get really bored to death. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I could just keep on showing demo if you want just the demo to be showed. So what I'm doing is, right now I'm just going for the first step, and I'm going to install that app. Obviously, because I'm connected to my cell phone, not sure how to show you on the camera how to really connect to the cell phone. Hey, can I just mirror this on my laptop somehow? Anyway, I thought that was a feature, but yeah, right now I do not remember that. So I'm just gonna go for Microsoft Authenticator now, and I'm gonna start that application or app on my cell phone, and but I can take a picture of that. I think it took a picture. Oh, it took a picture. Okay. And I can, oh yeah, I can WhatsApp it. Cool. So my Authenticator app is already actually working. It's already installed. So I hope you guys are all added in WhatsApp group as well. So I'll just put it on WhatsApp group here. So my app looks like this if it just got uploaded to WhatsApp. Oh, serious? My phone. Okay, I think my Wi-Fi sucks here. I'll just. Okay, so that's now it's on WhatsApp, and if you are added to WhatsApp as well, you will be seeing that that's the app that I have right now, and I have added some accounts there as well. So what I'm gonna do is that I will start that Azure application here and go ahead. So if anyone's following me, you can just put in chat. Can we download Authenticator on PC like Web Authenticator app? I already use Authenticator for work. Oh, uh, well, for PC, I'm not sure. It's just a Google away. That is there Authenticator app for PC? Okay, wow. We can just type that now. Microsoft Authenticator for PC should be there. Get Microsoft Authenticator. Download and install Microsoft Authenticator app from how to use but PC. Nope. It doesn't say so, but that would be cool if we have it. Normally, it's multi-factor authentication is that you should be away from PC. The point is that you should have multi-factor, two factors. If you're logging in from your browser, from the PC or the laptop with username password, and then you're using the same laptop to put that app, Authenticator app as well, then yeah, it's not pretty much two factor then. Accounts. So yeah, you can, and exactly as Khurram said, Ahmed, you can add. So if you can see the WhatsApp, if you're added to WhatsApp there, I've shown my account, my Authenticator app, and I have added there like 7 accounts right now. So it's not. It can have work app as well as a work account, as well as you can have as many accounts as you want, right? So that's why I mean you can just go ahead and add that, right? So strangers will go to Canada, okay, but this is supposed to be introducing them blah 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 blah. Because if I have a Authenticator app there, oh no, seriously, 9446. Wow, they didn't even send me. Okay, so yeah, I'll just go away from that. Let's just do it on cell phone because it's supposed to be on cell phone. Now on Azure, so I have this Authenticator app open for me, and on Azure, let's just go ahead. If you're in Azure Active Directory, and then you're seeing the users there, so I'm just gonna click the users and then go for on that top you should be seeing multi-factor authentication, or just go to more and there you see that multi-factor authentication on the right side, right? So once you click the multi-factor authentication, it still shows you the whole list, but now it will be asking that which users to configure the multi-factor authentication for. What we have here is that this user, let me just go back to that app. So I have one user already attached here. So I can just manage user settings here, require delete all existing app passwords. So yeah, I'll just grab my admin account and I'm gonna put that multi-factor authentication for that admin account, right? So now let's just try to go for that. I'm just gonna go for, see this, if you're on this page view, I'm gonna click that and I'm gonna go for global administrators. You can use a root account as well. Better use the root account or global account, whichever you want. Both have highest privileges here. So I'm just gonna select the global account. Otherwise, the root account is also okay. So what we need to do here is I'm just gonna go for that account that I added here for this lab, and it was cloud admin. No, it was testing. Oh yeah, there you go. So your first name or Amir Global Admin 23 September 2019. Wow, what a punishing username. So I'm just gonna select that. So guys, go ahead and select whichever user you want, but do remember you have to log in from that guy, right? So I will be logging in from this guy, the global admin. Why I'm not using my root account? I already put MFA or configured MFA for my root account. For my okay. In fact, it's disabled, but I already configured it for my other course, another course going on, and there I configured it. So here I'm just going to go for global account. You can just go for root account. Root account is that account with which you have connected your credit card, right? So I'm just going to select my global account, and I'm remembering okay, so that's one thing. And second thing is, you can see on the right side it is disabled right now, right? So we need to actually enable it. So I'm just going to click that user and go for enable on the right side, right? If we click enable, so it says that about enabling multi-factor authentication. So please read the deployment guide. Okay, go ahead and read if you want. If your users do not regularly sign in, then to the browser, you can send them to this link to register for multi-factor authentication. So anyway, um, do not regularly sign in. Okay, so I'm just going to click that https:/aka.ms/mfa setup. I hope everyone is able to see that, and let's go ahead and click this one. So once we click that, so it should be, well, approve sign-in request. So it doesn't trust me that it's approved sign-in request, and yeah, it's coming to my actually wow, sign in another way. We've sent a notification to your mobile device. Please respond to continue. Okay, it sent me an request, sign-in request to my Authenticator, and because I'm using it already, that's why I'm getting that. Otherwise, normally I am not supposed to get that. uh, so there was that pop-up here that came, and I'm just looking for that terms of privacy. Wow. So it sent me a request, guys, and that request I need to just open. I'm just gonna open that approval. It's asking for my approval. So on the Authenticator, I'm just gonna try to approve. We didn't hear from you. Send another request to my Microsoft Authenticator. Yes. So I'm just going to open that again. This time I'm going to click that. So maybe that is not what you're seeing, but I'm just going to click that because I'm reusing it. So it has sent a approval request, and now I'm approving that. A button came there for approval. I just clicked approve. Now it's asking, it's going for the next page. Now, guys, you should be seeing this page actually. So you should be seeing this page, in fact, and so here, what notify me through app will use this verification option by default. Notify me through app, call my authentication phone, text code to my authentication phone, call my office phone, or notify me through app, use verification code from. Okay, so notify me through app is there. Now down here, how would you like to respond? Set up one or more of these options. There is that authentication phone, and it's +1 647, but it's not United States, it's Canada. Okay, so this is what's your preferred option. When you sign in with your password, you are also required to respond from a registered device. This makes it harder for a hacker to sign in with just a stolen password, right? So and that's what it's saying, that hey, how do you want to respond? So I'm going to say that hey, I'm going to respond from my cell phone, obviously. So and how would you want that cell phone to be? Either you want to go for, okay, there's a screenshot here. Okay, so Khurram is seeing actually I'm just gonna drag it here. So Khurram is seeing this: receive notifications for verifications, use verification code. So yes, how should we contact you? So that would be good, Khurram. If you're all seeing this, then just go for mobile app, receive notifications for receive notifications for verification, and click the setup. Right. So click the setup here, Khurram, if you're seeing this screen, which is good. And do send me if you are seeing something else than what I'm seeing, because I'm configuring it for second and third time now, and it's going to be a little different for me. So if any one of you who are following me are seeing another screen, you can just put it on the Azure, and I'll just show that what to do with that, or I'll let you know. Authenticator app or token. So second thing is Office Phone alternate authentication. Second thing is saying that Authenticator app or token. Set up an Authenticator app. Now obviously this is the Authenticator app on my phone, Amir's iPhone. It actually detects my phone as well, right? So and okay, Khurram shows another picture here, which I'm putting in the video. So here, yes, you're seeing that scan code. So you have to just go inside the app and open the scan button, and just simply scan this code, and the cell phone will register your Azure account in that Authenticator app, right? So you're there. Thank you for showing that, Shazad. So everyone is also able to see that the scan image comes here from the Authenticator app. You have to point it on your laptop screen or desktop screen, and simply connect to that. You just scan through the Authenticator app this scan code, and it will the cell phone will know that, oh, this is the Azure account that next time I should be generating the security for. So I'm just gonna drag that away from to the other screen, and so this is the next screen where you were seeing that. While what I was doing was authentication, authenticated app or token, and that is authenticated app is already selected. So pretty much for me it seems like it is selected. But if I click that setup authenticator app here, so I'm just going to click that setup authenticator app, and there you go. The scan code is showing me as well. So what I'm going to try to do is that I'm going to add another account here, and then I'm going to try to access that Authenticator app here. Well, what happens is that normally it really doesn't work with it. Okay, so I'll just drag it to my second monitor screen, because the first screen never works for me. And oh, the second screen works. Woohoo! Okay, good. So now the next page comes to me. If I just take it back, so it just detected my other screen, and what I'm trying to check here is where's the account. So default directory, and so it's just asking that continue app without notifications, or if you're unable to scan the image, enter the following information in your app. So there are many ways. This is the code that you can put there in the app if somehow it did not get detected, right? So how it's just working now, I just try to get authenticated with that, and I'm gonna click next now, and verifying app, checking activation status, because the code was detected by my account here. Although I don't see that very long account name here, it says verify app is please respond to the notification on your device. It is sending me a notification, and I'm clicking approve again on my cell phone, and it says approved. So on my cell phone I approved, and when I'm clicking this verifying app, Like I'm looking at it now after approving the app on my cell phone. So it should just show me the next step now, which is that it's trying to communicate with my cell phone. And okay, I do see another account added here in my cell phone, but here it's just verifying. So the thing is that if you get your app to scan the code, then after that it just gets easier. But the how do we check that? So Khurram, if you're done, you can just sign out from your account and sign in again. And can you please share that screen where it does ask for that code from you, right? So those who are following, an error was encountered in my case. We're still updating your list of devices. Check back in a few minutes. Correction ID is this. Seriously, are you kidding me? Close. So what I'm doing is I'm just gonna click the setup authenticator app again and configure mobile. And this time I'll just go for work account or enter code manually. So I'll be just entering this code instead of configure app with notifications. So secret key. So this is a very secret key that pretty much everyone can see right now. So I'm just going the other way, and that is the code. Oh, there's a code here. Okay. If you are unable to scan the image, enter the following information in your apps. Seriously. Okay, first that I'm just gonna enter that 439 405, because somehow I'm not able to scan that code. I don't know why. 924. So there's another way as well. And then I have to put that punishingly long URL, https colon slash slash. Seriously, colon slash slash. I'm just typing in my cell phone in my Microsoft Authenticator app. CYS01 CYS01 NAPAD09 NAPAD09 .NA .NA. Okay, I know it's boring. Dot phonefactor.net dot phonefactor, and if the spellings are wrong, wow. .net slash pad slash 249526 249526 893 893. Okay, so if I click finish on my cell phone with after entering that code, activation failed, make sure that your push notifications are enabled on the phone and your activation code is not wrong. Seriously, 439 405 924 439 405 924. And yeah, it's kind of okay. I'll just put it on my WhatsApp and then I copy it from there. But there is something https slash, guys, just bear with me. CYS 01 NAPAD 09 .NA .phonefactor .net slash pad 249526 249526. Seriously, 249526, not 36. 526 893 6 893 249526 893. Finish. Okay, it seems like it has accepted that, and if I go to next now, checking activation status. Okay. So on the chat, Khurram is saying where to scan. I couldn't find on iOS. My root account is already added. I got same message. So I got approve button here. So you got save message. Khurram, you just my root account is already added. Okay, your root account is already added. Okay. So if your root account is added, then there should be no problemo. Like what error you're getting, you can just tell me and I'll try to help out. But if your root account is added, just sign out, sign in, put your username, password, and then whatever three numbers, six numbers are appearing here, just put them in the next screen and you will be okay. So guys, it's a verifying app, but it really is, if you were doing it with AWS, it would have been much smoother, but with Azure, it's kind of a pain. Seriously. So I'm trying to just put my cell phone out of the window as well. Okay, just to get, oh, seriously. Okay, so we're still updating your list of devices. Check back in a few minutes. So it is just not able to update my device. Now, if I just delete that device here, delete, sir, please wait for the operation to complete. Okay. Oh, deleting Authenticator app. So guys, I'm deleting that app just to get that to work once. So now if I just show that screen here, so you can see that there's that screen, and Khurram, you are seeing this 8502. So when you log out of that account, you have to log in from that account again, but this time when you put username password, it should just ask your ask these random numbers as well, right? So what is happening or what is not happening when you sign out? Are you not able to do that? Yeah. Okay, just sign out and you will be. So guys, in my case also, Authenticator app, I'll just click setup it, set it up again, and again it is showing me this. I'm gonna try to add this dude again. Seriously, that's a pain. So normally it doesn't get activated on my first screen, so I'll just take this to my second screen here, and so now I'm just trying third time, and if it doesn't work this way, then I'll try fourth time. So what I need to show you is that this is the way to get authenticated. It's just that if my cell phone coverage or my Authenticator. So I just checked it again, verifying app, and normally it just goes that way. It detects that for now. Maybe there's something wrong on the Microsoft side, or maybe there's something wrong with my cell phone provider side, that somehow it's not picking up the data. Oh, okay, verification failed for the third time. It's pretty straightforward, as we are having trouble because we have already configured it with that account. Yes. So guys, the thing is that once you go through that, it's going to just configure it for you. And as Khurram said, it's pretty straightforward. We don't have to really spend huge amount of time on that. But this is how you go for multi-factor authentication. I've shown you some stages. Khurram has shown the picture. Thank you for that, Khurram. And what we can understand from here is that okay, that's really how it is working. I'm gonna click save. Verification required. We detect that you made a change, so I'm just going to verify this at least once, and approve button is being asked on my cell phone. So for some reason, update successful. Okay, good. So this authentication is set up for my account, and so I'm just going to go back to the active for my multi-factor authentication and check that if it is working. About enabling, and now enable multi-factor is now enabled for the selected accounts. I'll click close here, right? So what happens is that this is enabled here, and I'm just once you click that in this page, you can see on the right side there's enforce button here as well. Once you click enforce multi-factor authentication, then it's going to make that account really connect to that. So if it is already working when you're logging in, then you don't have to really come here. I just also click the enforce button. So this means that this account has enforced, which is your first name admin. Okay, that is not the account I was working on. So pretty much right now, yeah, here. Okay, yeah, this is just enabled here. Now, guys, the thing is that it is pretty straightforward as you see, but for some reason, it's in my case, it is not working right now. But Khurram just tried to show that. And what you expect from that is that after this is configured, once you sign out and sign in again, so this will really. So if I go back here, I'm just gonna show that once you sign out and sign in again. Now it may not show for me, but I'm just gonna sign out and just check it, because it was giving me some errors because of my maybe the cell phone coverage there, or it is just something happening to my account specific to Azure. So it's not, but the steps are there. And if I just log out, log in again, if it asks for a username password, so then it will be okay. Otherwise, I'll just go ahead. So yeah, I'll just log in, and for now I don't think that it will just ask me this username password. So guys, let's just go ahead with the other topic, but if you need any help with that, I can help you after the class as well. Normally I just want to show that it's working, but yes, if it is taking more time, so we can just move ahead with the next topics as well. So I'm just going to go to Azure Active Directory, and on the right side you can see here users, and then under the users there's that groups. Once you click the groups here, so there are a lot of groups for you. Maybe there are one or two groups. For me, there are a lot of groups here. But obviously, just like in Active Directory, you have groups. Then Azure Active Directory, you also have groups. So what I'm going to do is, if I go to groups here, there's general expiration, naming policy, access reviews, audit, and bulk operation results. So I'm going to go for new group here, and let's click the new group, and security group or Office 365 group. So if it is security group, obviously security groups always lets you connect to remote network resources, right? And Office 365 group is that obviously you will be able to email to that group, and you will just like any mail enabled group or distribution group or distribution list, as we use in our process. So if I just click this Office 365 just to check that what are the options, so it just goes for group name, group email address, and that is still using the free domain of this account. So although it is supposed to be Azure Guy here, and then the group description, but we get to know that okay, you want to create an email group or you want to create a security group. So if we stick to security here and then go for group name, and that could be sales group. Suppose there is a sales department there, and group description, I'm just going to control A, control V, the sales group. So and membership type, for now it is not dropping down to let me add members, but it is assigned. So when the group is created, we're going to go inside and try to add some members there. Owners, who's the owner of that? So I'm just going to click that owners, and I can just add my root account as the owner for this. So admin at yeah, this account. So I'll just select that admin account here. It's added. I'm going to click select, and one owner is selected, and then we go for members. So it is assigned type, and then if we click the members, now the list comes for the members there. Now obviously our account is the member, so whoever else you select here will be a member, and that's a lot of users here that are that can be selected. So I'm just gonna select some random users here: Alana Shaw, Aldith Walker, and Alex Hain, and click select. Right. So the security group is created there. Security groups only purpose is to let users connect to any network resource, right? You want to add it to any network resource, the members of those groups will be connected to that resource. So I'm just going to click create here, and creating a group, and it gets created. So sales group is the top one here, and if I click inside here, sales group, so there are then properties, but members, owners, group membership, applications, licenses, and Azure resources. So which resource would you be able to add this group, right? So we can add it to another group just to see that does this group even appear in the permissions area. So if we go for Azure resources, it is not assigned to any Azure resource yet. So there are many resources here like app services, SQL databases. We don't have SQL databases. Virtual machines, we don't have that. Load balancers, storage accounts, we don't have those as well. And security center, then it comes down to all the security services. So how about we keep the group there, although let's go down again, let's go back to groups and all groups here, and there are some AD sync admins, right? That's a group, and that maybe you have just one of those, but I have a lot of those because I've done synchronization that many times. Then there's AD sync browse. Now synchronization browse and synchronization admins, if I go to AD synchronization admins, this is also a group. So can I add the sales group into this group? If it allows me to do that, yes, I can. If it does not, then obviously I won't, because I will be waiting for some resources to be created, so I could just add that group later to any resource as well. We haven't created any resource yet, so that's why I'm going for just another group, just to see that does it get added to anything or not. Or if you want to add some more users, so if you go for group memberships, so there's that group membership here for AD synchronization admins, and if I go to add membership here, so and so here if I just type sales group, yeah, sales group appear there. So if it is appearing there, this means that it's a security group. If I click that and select, so I was able to, well, if I select and confirm, successfully added. So yes, it's a security group. Security groups, you can add it to any of the network resource or any of the Azure resources there. If it gets added to a Active Directory synchronization admins group, now when later we're going to create storage accounts, when later we create virtual machines and SQL databases, so wherever there are permissions available there, so the sales group can be added there as well, right? So just to prove that yes, if it appears as a member for any other group or any other resource, then this is a security group right now, right? So if we go back to our Azure Active Directory here, so first was the users, where we synchronize all the users, and then there is that groups, then there is organizational relationships. That's the third one here. If we click that organizational relationship, so which organizations are we connected to right now, right? So the thing is that invited users who have not yet redeemed their invitation may not appear. So new guest user, if you want to invite outside users to connect to that, but first of all you have to really create your organization name here. This is the same feature in AWS as well, but if you users from other organizations, now other organization right now, it is our Azure guy is one domain, right? If you want another user to be coming from other organizations, then they have to just be in another domain as well, and then try to be added here as well. Now there's one more thing that I want to show here or check here. I'm going to right click on top of the tab here. I'm going to go to duplicate here. I don't want to lose this page as well, but I'm going to duplicate here. It's going to load, and I'll just go down to the home page. In fact, I'm going to go down to the go up to the all services page, this one, all services, right? And I'm going to type here organizations, organization, right? And if I search, no, there is no service called organizations, but management group, because normally in AWS there is a service called organization, right? And you actually create an organization. Suppose you want to put your company name there, so you can put that there, but here I don't see that, so it's going to be that you don't have users, like the organization here, which means that it's not a separate service like AWS. but we would just take it as that if you have another domain added here and the user needs to be added from that domain, then you can just add it here. Now we don't have another domain, but let me show you where the domain is. If I go to Azure Active Directory, I can go down here, custom domains, right? So if we click the custom domains here, and we have just I have my domain that is loading right now, and that's the only domain I have, right? Remember that last time we added the domain. Well, okay, so I refreshed it and there you go. So this is the verified domain, AzureGuide.site. So this is one domain, and that's where I'm saying that I just have one domain here. If there are users coming from other subscriptions or domains, then we can just but one more thing here, I'm just gonna click back to organizational relationships. There is identity providers here as well. Now this identity providers is that do you want to connect to your local Azure Active Directory with federation services as well, right? So we already connected our Azure Active Directory from AADC. We don't need to actually connect with federation services, but that's something that you will find in many companies there, that Active Directory Federation. So if I just click the paintbrush here and create that diagram quickly, you have a local site here, local branch, right? Local Toronto branch, and there is that Azure Cloud here. So Azure Cloud, right? So what happens is that we are connected from AADC, but many companies. So suppose this is the local Active Directory or the domain controller, right? So that local Active Directory is connected right now with AADC to AzureAD, but there is another way to do that to AzureAD, right? So and that is with the help of AADC, which is Azure Active Directory Connector. But you can also have that your local branch if you have another server deployed here, and that is called Azure Federation Active Directory Federation Services. Active Directory Federation Server, right? It's a role that you deploy, and once you deploy that Federation Server or services, ADFS normally it is called. So then what happens is that your users can connect with their local username and password with the help of Federation Server, and they will just be offered one site there, and from that local site, when they put their username password that they use every day here, they will be automatically connected to Azure Cloud application, Azure Cloud, and then to whatever application 1, 2, 3, 4 they are having. So Federation Services server has to be installed. It's kind of overwhelming to even install that. In MCSA courses normally we do that. In fact, I explained that how to install. If you have a Federation server here, you can connect your whole branch, and the Active Directory users can connect through that Federation server to Azure Cloud as well. So that is done in identity provider on the Azure side, while it is done in local branch with Active Directory Federation server side. So if you don't want a simple solution here, you already have Federation server installed there, and this is for very large scale. When you have 100,000 users, 50,000 users there, then you go for this option, although this can take as many users as well, right? So there are two ways to connect, and one is this, or second is that. But the difference here would be the AADC, the users have one user account in local branch and other in Azure Cloud. Of course, password is same, PW is same, but the thing is you have two user accounts here, right? So you have to log in from that. While this is the case in AADC, Azure Active Directory Connector, so but this is not the case with Federation Services. With Federation Services, So with the ADFS, Active Directory Federation Services, there is only one set of credentials that the user in local AD branch uses to connect to local services and to cloud services as well. So two sets of credentials, one set of credentials, that's a big difference. So you would have one set of credentials with Federation services, and that's it. Once the user connects or puts that service there, and that's how you connect to that. Now there is one other example I can give for Federation services, and that is, suppose I want to connect with Azure services with my George Brown College account. So it normally shows me a Federation Services page, and then it takes me there. But since I'm logged in from here, I don't think it's going to let me. So let me just sign out quickly from here, just to show you the Federation Services. How does it look like? So once you're signed out, oh, I'm signed out. Don't sign out. I'm just showing you the Federation Services. If it cooperates with me, so that's my George Brown account. Now this is the Federation Services page, right? So if you have connected your Federation, and you can see ADFS written there, right? adfs.georgebrown.ca. This ADFS is a Federation server that is separately deployed there, and this is the account that I normally use, and this is the account that I can sign in from here anytime. So this is the page that counts for local users, local branch users. And if Active Directory Federation Services is connected, that's all you need to do. Just put your username there, password there again, the same one that you're using there, and there you go. You just log into then the Azure account. So I don't want to log into that Azure account here, so I'll just log in back to that. So identity provider is that if you have Federation servers installed there in your local branch, if Federation services are installed, then only you can go for that services. So identity providers, when you go there, it's SAML or Windows services, Federation services, identity providers. So you must have that server already deployed there in order for you to connect to these services. So this is, we understand that, okay, we should have Federation services, and the rest is access reviews, bulk operation. The main thing here to understand is either you have another domain here to connect the users or invite the users from. You can also see Google here, right? So you can connect Azure to Google as well, but this option was not there before. The second option is again SAML or Windows services, Federation services, and that is using Open Authentication IDP protocol, which simply helps you connect local branch to your Azure. So, but if we click the Google here, if we click the Google, and you must configure credentials as Google APIs first to get the client ID and client secret. So you can connect to Google Suite as well as a separate organization. That is very cool that they have added the Google. Maybe they will add Facebook later. Maybe they will add Twitter as well. So you get the Twitter users can get authenticated and log in from Twitter accounts authentication to here, and Azure will accept their authentication. Suppose you have a Gmail, Google account, so you would just log in from Google account, and then you will be able to add, use resources in Azure as well. So this needs to be further really. I would suggest that you should try this. But what I want to first make sure that it doesn't charge you when you are trying to connect your Google account with that, and then within Google account you're able to access the resources. This means that you log in from Google, but you access the resources of Azure, right? So this needs to be further tested and further first identified that if it's not going to charge us. So guys, this is organizational relationship, that how do you connect outside users to Azure Active Directory. If we go back to our Active Directory, then there are roles and administrators, and that is a very, very important area. Let's go to roles and administrators there. And once you're inside roles and administrators, so there is that application administrator, there is application developer, authenticator, authentication administrator, Azure DevOps. So this is pretty much all the services related administrator roles there. You just want the users to have a, there's a search administrator. You just want high privileged a user to have high privileges just to be able to search. That's it, nothing else. Security administrator, you just want to have a user only configure security aspect of Azure but nothing else. So in that case, you will just try to add a user there. So how about if we have there's a Azure DevOps administrator, but if I just go for search here, and if I go for administrator, okay, so administrator. So if I just put administrator here, there's application administrator, there is billing administrator, and I was looking for, yeah, global administrator. So global administrator is here, and if I go to global administrator inside, obviously what we can do is just look about which users are added there. So there is an add assignment written here with global administrator. So this is a role, right? So all we need to do is just add someone there. If I click the add assignment, so there are users that you can add and they will become global administrators. What about that sales group that we were talking about? Right now the group is not opening there, or sale. No, the groups are not there, but the users are there. Obviously it will add users, but it will not add groups. Obviously you can't add a huge group of administrators there. Administrator is always one and only, right? So we can just put there, I'm just gonna click that first user Aisha Bihari here, just to check how to add a user, and that's all, right? So this Aisha Bihari will now be a global administrator. She can actually do all configure all those services, manage, configure, maintain, troubleshoot all those services, right? I'm gonna click add here. So just to show that how to add a user and give privileges to some role here. Roles and administrators, pretty much every service has roles and administrators. You would want to not add anyone here in global administrator. Obviously you would want to be very careful what role are you giving to any administrator. So if I click that area here, so roles and administrators, and you can just add any user there, but just make sure that which service you're adding. There's an exchange administrator written there, there is SharePoint administrator written there, there's Skype for Business administrator, and Teams administrator. These are all Microsoft 365 services there, but you can see that in Azure it also shows that, right? We are in that portal. So now what we are trying to go ahead with, so we understand that yes, there are roles and administrator, and yes, we can add users to any of those roles and administrators. Yeah, right. To create custom roles, your organization needs Azure AD Premium P1 or P2. Start a free trial. So if you want to create your own role, which means, hey, I'm going to create a desktop support role there, and then I'm going to add user 1, user 2, user 3. So then you have to upgrade it to a Active Directory Premium, Premium 1 or Premium 2. Now, I'm so enticed to go for this. So if I click that to create custom role, just try to check that how it works. So if you click that, so now it's asking that, hey, if you want that, you should be going for Azure Active Directory Premium P2. You can gain access to advanced security features, richer reports, and role-based assignments to applications. Your end users will benefit from self-service capabilities and customized branding. It also shows you enterprise mobility plus security, which is Enterprise 5 E5. That's the top package there by Microsoft for mobility, especially for Office 365. So this all gets there, but this is just enterprise mobility, and this is for Azure AD Premium if you want to go for advanced features. There's a free trial written there, and after activation you can just go for so guys, are you able to activate that in your free trial, or you're also like you are getting the same option there, activate or not. Okay, so you get the same option there, right? But while your trial version is there, right, you have I guess $250, Khurram, there for your trial version, I guess. Or your trial version is also done and you are working on pay as you go just like me. Oh, $50 only, not 250. Oh, which I have already used. Ouch. Oh, okay. So you're like, well, I also have a pay as you go, and you also have pay as you go. So let's not pay as we go. Oh, okay. So if we activate that, it's clearly says that it's going to be a trial version. It's going to be free trial. Oh, okay. Reset it. So Khurram is saying that you can reset the pay as you go, and they will change it to free trial. You kidding me? No, they will never do that. They're really really very miser. Oh, okay, cool. Guys, so I'm just if I click the activate button, let's just click the activate button, or I will just click that activate button, activating AzureAD Premium now, and successfully activated AzureAD Premium. I hope it's a trial and they don't charge me, but I just take risks when teaching is going on. So now always remember, I don't use. Okay, I never got $200. Ouch. Then maybe in US, it's like that, but in Canada, oh, just kidding. Okay, no, it's everywhere the same package, right? So here, guys, always look for bell icon here. This is the bell icon. Just like in YouTube, they say that please do click the bell icon there to be notified. So there's a bell icon here, and it says successfully activated Azure AD Premium P2 trial. Successfully added assignment. Oh well, so there are the two things we did here, and the bell icon is showing that, right? So now if to create custom roles, it still says that. I'm just going to refresh that just to see that some extra features have shown here or not. Refresh needed. Your directory has changed in an important way since you were last here. Please refresh your browser to get an optimal experience. Well, isn't that what I did? Okay. Refresh again. Or I will just go back and, okay, I'll just go to some other service, resource groups. Then I will go to Azure Active Directory. Then I will go to roles and administrators, which I just activated the premium version. Oh, there you go. New custom role. Woohoo! Yay! Okay, so and get just-in-time access to a role when you need it using PIM, and that is also a very cool security feature. We're gonna go talk about that too. But right now, new custom role. So I activated it, and then how do we click the new custom role? Well, how do we use that? So the first thing is I just click the new custom role right now, right? So and then name your first name underscore new custom role, right? And start from scratch or clone from a custom role. We never created any other, so start from scratch is good. Next, and then it says, hey, what kind of, this is a custom role, remember? So what kind of permissions you need? So it's long list of permissions here, and you can do your shopping here. Read all properties of single directory applications, update all properties on single directory, and it goes on read owners on single directory applications, delete single directory. So if I click, suppose there's a delete right there. In fact, I'll just avoid the delete for a custom role. So anyone can update all properties of Active Directory. Anyone can read or application and organizations. Anyone can go for application properties. Well, pretty much look like the same. So I just got for two of these, two of the custom permissions. I'm just gonna click next, just to show that okay, you can go for custom permissions, but these permissions were not a lot, and I was expecting a very long list of that. So if I just uncheck, check that and uncheck that, so permissions are gone, but name or description, so that are not that much. Okay, this is just for Azure Active Directory, obviously. and that's where the custom role they are letting us create. Otherwise, I was expecting throughout, all the services, databases, virtual machines, load balancers, storage accounts. So I'm just gonna select random any two or three here, or one or two, and click next. Just to show you how to create a custom role, obviously you just select what you want and click create. So the custom role has been created. I'll go to my best friend bell icon here and check that yes, it is created there. So new custom role, and then you can add users to that role. They will only have that permission, but you have to add braid to P2. Oh, okay. Ask for refund. So exactly, yeah, you're right. Ask for refund. So okay, guys. So we get the idea. It's pretty straightforward as well. Roles and administrators. You create custom roles, or you go for built-in roles and add users to those roles, and those users get those permissions which are assigned in that role, because the role defines that clearly, that what permissions will be, what tasks will be done by the user once the user is added there. Now there is that get just-in-time access to a role when you need it in it using PIM, and PIM is a very cool security feature that it is all about copyright protection, and it works really amazingly well. But when we come to security, we're going to talk about that. Let's go down to we've done roles and administrators there. Let's go for enterprise applications there. And once it's enterprise applications, once we're inside enterprise applications, you can see that some of the applications are here for me, and I've added that for other courses. But it is just about which application your organization needs to add, right? So if I click that new application here, then there's a long list of applications here that you can add for your corporate users here. There are configure AzureAD application proxy to enable secure remote access. There's a on-premises application. You want to connect to an application that is in your local branch. Yes, you can do that and connect to that application you're developing, or non-gallery applications. But if we go down to the gallery here, there's the Dropbox, there's a box, all those famous applications. Even G Suite is there, which is a rival of Office 365 of Microsoft. G Suite is there, and then GitHub for programmers, NetSuite, and it goes on and on. Oracle, Office 365, Exchange, ServiceNow. Oh, wow, cool. So that's a ticketing application, right? On the basis of ITIL. So I'm just going to click that ServiceNow here, just to, I'm not going to be purchasing that service. So ServiceNow, use Microsoft Azure AD to enable user access to ServiceNow. So it's totally cloud solution right now. And at least I want to add it as an enterprise application for now. So am I able to add this ServiceNow? Because later you need to purchase a license for that as well. Now I'm just going for the free trial. I'm just going to click add here, and ServiceNow getting started. Okay, so getting started is here, but is it added to my applicant? So if I just go down here, it doesn't, there's no save button, there's no back button here. Pretty much it seems like it is installed. So if I go back to my enterprise applications here, if I click that, so I don't see ServiceNow here, but if I just go for refresh here, there is your ServiceNow. So you can just add any application to the Azure, and those are all third-party applications. But then if I go inside ServiceNow that I added, I surely did not ask, didn't put any license there, but they're saying clearly assign users and groups, provide specific users and group access to the applications, set up a single sign-on, enable users to sign into their application using their Azure AD credentials, and conditional access that you can access from, suppose that you have two branches, New York and Azure and Toronto. So you can connect from Toronto, but you cannot connect from New York. So this is conditional access. Provision user access accounts, automatically create and delete user accounts in the application, and self-service. So obviously ServiceNow is famous with banks. Many banks have this application. Many large organizations have this ServiceNow application installed there, and so if I click that assign users and groups here, the first one with the application, and it takes me there to users and groups. I just want to check that if this outside application can let me add Azure Active Directory users or not. So if I click the add user here and none selected and user role, so first of all I need to click that, and yes, I can see all the Azure Active Directory users here. I'll just go for the first user just to check that, and Azure guy.site, that's the site I purchased from GoDaddy and added it last class. So I'm just gonna select that user here and select, and I just want to know if I can successfully add active Azure users into any third-party application that I added in Azure. So, and would it be a end user, or if I click that roles here, so these are supposed to be application roles. Allow Zaka. Okay, this application doesn't let me add this user or change its role to an administrator of ServiceNow application. So I was able to add the user. If I click assign, wow, I was able to assign the end user as well. So this is very cool that you can add different applications here from any of the big vendors, and then you can assign Active Directory users. Now this user is actually not even directly created in Azure Cloud. It was synchronized. This user was synchronized from local Active Directory domain controller, and in last class you've seen that how the synchronization really works. This user from local Active Directory synchronized to Azure Active Directory is now being added to a ServiceNow enterprise grade application. So this is a very important thing to understand, that you can add as many cloud applications and Azure users can be given access to those cloud applications, right? So we understand that, okay, enterprise application is all about we add enterprise grade applications here, and then we give, so companies have to purchase a license for those applications, and then the Azure administrator can add whatever Azure users need to use that business application within Azure environment. So that's pretty cool, service there. Now let's just go back to our Active Directory, and I'm going to go for Azure Active Directory again. So we were talking about users. We synchronize from, we create users directly, synchronize from local account groups. We create a group and try to add it to another group, which means it's a security group. Then organizational relationships, we just discussed that you can just connect a local branch Active Directory through federation services as well. You can also connect Google to that, and that is something I can't wait to test, right? Because this was not there before. If I click organizational relationship again, the main thing is oh, was it here? Yeah, identity providers. In the identity providers, guys, do check that how do you connect Google user of Google to Azure, and then the user of Google can create some machines here, or can create some accounts here, or can get added to some application here. So that's really cool. So, but I'm just going to go back here. Roles and administrators, we talked about that the users are, you can just add any user to any role here, and that would give higher privileges to that user for that particular role, for whichever service that role was created for. And then we go for enterprise applications. You can add any application from outside and add Active Directory Azure users to that application. Of course, your company has to buy that license. So I'm just going to go back here. Now there is that devices written here under enterprise applications. Now if we click the devices here, so learn more about how to manage stale devices in Azure Active Directory. First of all, the devices, there are no devices, right? Second thing, there is no manage. So now there are, first of all, it's saying name, enabled, OS. What is the operating system? Version, join type, owner, MDM. So that is for cell phones, so mobile devices management, MDM, right? Compliant, registered activity. So if you have Azure application installed in cell phones, and you're connecting from cell phone to Azure cloud, or from tablet as well. So it will then detect that application there. In fact, I'm connected to my cell phone and I'm going to my app store here. Where is it? Oh, hello app store. Woohoo. Oh, app store. Oh, there's it. So guys, are you able to find Azure, anything Azure in your app store or in your Play Store, right? So if you log into that with the that root admin account here, then are you able to actually go there or not? First of all, so well, my LTE is also working like a 3G right now, so maybe I'll try later. But you can just download the Azure application on your cell phone. Oh yeah, I did not allow this application to use my cellular connection. So anyway, but if Azure application is there, you should download that and then log in from that Azure application. As soon as you log in, does it detect here in devices, right? So this would be a task that we should do. So I'm gonna put that as a ticket as well, and I hope you were able to do first ticket. Anyone was able to resolve the first ticket, which is that you were supposed to do it 3 times to confirm it works and screenshots of class setup. So what we did was come up with a ADC PowerShell script. Okay, yeah, that was a tough one. I understand that. I already am not getting any other than Khurram. I'm not getting any response from others. So this was a tough one. But I'm just gonna create ticket 2 as well, and ticket 1 is still due on you guys, right? So ticket 2 is, and other core students, they had resolved those tickets before the next class, and it was wow. So the speed was wow. So I'm just gonna put that second ticket as well. Turab says, yeah, he's done this lab. Which lab? Come up with the ADC PowerShell. No, this is a ticket PowerShell script. So we can, you know, update Azure Active Directory with AADC graphical interface, right? But we need to come up with a PowerShell script for AADC. When we run that script, so whatever changes we made in the local Active Directory should get updated in Azure Active Directory. We did that successfully with Azure Active Directory connector with graphical interface, but is there a script that works the same way? That is the ticket, right? Rn delta sync command. Okay. From okay, delta sync command. Okay. So that was PowerShell commandlet, or that was in the CLI, or oh, it was PowerShell, and you were able to then go for to force sync. Okay, and you were able to do that. Okay, so oh, did it sync? Did you check that? Oh, okay. So resolved, but yeah, that's I was looking for screenshots here. So resolved by Torab. So yes, it worked. Now this is kind of I hope Amin Bhai has created a Google Drive account, so you could just upload the screenshots there. But only Torab was able to run that script, or you can just put the screenshots on WhatsApp group, and that would be good that you've resolved it. So screen, but now obviously it's okay. Okay. So you have put that there. I'm just gonna put it in the ticket as well. How can you just remember it, Throff? Wow, man, that's cool. Okay, so ticket 2 is, and I have created Google Shared Drive. Okay, so I mean, by you can just give it to others as well, so they could upload their assignments. You can just put that assignment folder there, so they could upload their assignments in week 1, week 2, week 3, right? So that was week 2 assignment. So guys, just put that assignment with screenshots in MS Word as week 2, right, for next assignments, right? So ticket 2 is that so it was devices. Yeah, actually I wanted that organizational relationships. So in organizational relationships, we go to identity providers. Ticket 2 is that. So go to AzureAD, then organizational relationships, and identity providers, and connect Google users, or Google, yeah, Google account, user account, and check if with Google user authentication you are able to use Azure resources. For example, I.E, just create one Azure account, right? That's ticket 2, and I'm going to be putting that information there as well, up there. So when the ticket 3 is that add, okay, download Azure AD app in your cell phone, log in from root account, make sure that this device information shows up in inside Azure AD, and then devices, right? That's the ticket 3. So I'm just gonna put ticket 1, 2, 3 for everyone in chat, so please resolve it ASAP. And that's the information for ticket 1, 2, 3. But so I'm sure you guys are really smart, but previous class, all previous courses, they've been doing those assignments. Majority of them have done that assignments in really very astonishing speeds, and updated and put the screenshots with MS Word, in MS Word, and uploaded there on Google Drive. So these three tickets are showing now in your WhatsApp as well. Okay, they're not, so I'll just go away from my Wi-Fi again. Okay, now the tickets are there in WhatsApp and they are in chat. Just copy them and please resolve them ASAP. So thank you very much. But that's your benefit if you resolve. It's your loss if you don't resolve, right? So now we're talking about the Azure services there, and now we're talking about here. I'm just going to go back to Azure Active Directory here, and we were talking about roles and administrators. Pretty straightforward. Enterprise applications, we added an enterprise application, and then we were able to just simply add a user to that as well. Devices, when you go there, so you should log in, go ahead and download the Azure AD, and in your app log in from the root account with which you're logged in here, and then check that if the device information comes here. If it does, then just take screenshots and put it in MS Word and upload it to week 2 assignments. Just name that document and your name, obviously. But we understand that devices are there when you are logging in from Azure as any user, so that information should be coming here, right? So then there is app registrations here under the devices, another feature, and that is okay. Thank you, Amin bhai. So, and that is looking to learn how it's changed from app registrations legacy. Welcome to the new and improved app registrations, now generally available. So your app is registered, all applications, owned applications, applications from personal account, whichever application you are introducing to the Azure Active Directory, you can just register them as well, and it will know that this application is attached to the Active Directory by such and such user. So if I click the new registration here, so then there is the user facing display name for this application. It is just showing there. Oops. Oh, okay. So user facing, and then who can use this application or access this API? Accounts in this organizational directory only Azure guy, default directory only single tenant, or accounts in organizational directory multi-tenant, or personal Microsoft accounts as well. So when you add an application, who can really access that? So either just your admin account, or the users in your domain, or if you've added multiple domains, you have added more. Multi-tenant just means that you have more domains there as well. So I added Azure guy, maybe you've added Bitcoin dot or Bitcoin guy, or you've added something else. So those other domains users can also access this application or not. You can select that, or the multiple domain users can access this application plus Microsoft accounts, Skype, Xbox accounts. So this is all about registering that application for which type of users you want to register that application to. So we're gonna stick to that. Hey, only our domain users can access these applications. But if your organization says no, other domain users can also access that, or outsiders like Microsoft account users can also access the applications in Azure with their Microsoft application authentication, yes, they can also do that. So we understand the purpose of that. Let's just click that back here. I'm not changing anything here. So app registrations, then there is identity governance, right? So Microsoft keep on adding a lot of services there, and those services are just showing up and up every new course when it starts. Azure new course started. I mean, there are some new services that are added there. Before they were in preview, and now they are actually fully available. So what is identity, Azure ID governance? ID, of course, your username password, right? Either coming from synchronized Active Directory, local branch Active Directory, or it's directly created in your Azure, or it is coming from Facebook, maybe it's coming from Google. All the users coming from everywhere, are you able to organize them, manage them? So ensure the right people have the right access at the right time. So Azure AD identity governance helps you to protect, monitor, and audit access to critical assets while ensuring employee productivity. So it's all about security, and that's what they are talking about. Create an access package, govern the life cycle of access to groups, applications, and SharePoint online sites for both employees and guests. So what is lifecycle access to groups, or what is lifecycle access? And then second thing is access reviews. Enable organizations to recertify group memberships, application access, and privileged role assignments. If we go further down here, so there is privileged identity management. Make users eligible for roles so that they only have privileged access when necessary. So only give them specific roles and privileges, and then for how long do you want to give them? So that's a pretty cool concept here. Terms of use, ensure users see relevant disclaimers. You can create disclaimers here that for legal or compliance requirements, which is very cool. So already the first one is entitlement management, and that is in preview. So there is that message on top. Click on board in the left navigation menu to start using access reviews now. So there is onboard. Really? I don't see there. Onboard. Do you see that? Left menu. Okay, there's nothing. So I'm just gonna go up there and getting started. Learn more. Nope, nothing. Okay. So guys, what we're trying to see is that Azure Identity helps you to protect, monitor, and audit access. So now I want to go inside and check that govern the life cycle of access, right? So if we click that create an access package, which is in preview, so it's in beta version, so we don't expect it to really fully work. but what is it offering and what is it about, right? So create an access, let's just click that, create an access package, and then create a collection of resources that users can request access to. So if we go for test access package, right? And catalog is general, or we can drop down the list, which is we haven't created any new catalog, so that's why it will not let us do that. But pretty much it's saying create a collection of resources that users can request to access. Actually, it's request access to. So let's click next resource roles, and then add different resources to this access package. Specify the permissions associated with each resource by selecting a role from the drop down list. So again, it's all about access to resources. Oh, it's disabled for you. Okay, so I have friends in high places in Azure, so that's why it's just enabled for me, and you need to make some friendship there, right? Okay, just kidding. I'm not sure why it is why it is disabled for you, but are you logged in from the root account, or are you logged in from global admin account? I'm sure you're logged in from root account. You have enrolled for that service, might be part of it. 30 days. Hey, you're a genius, man. So so this means you didn't. Okay, so I'm just taking the risk, right? So okay, yeah, let the teacher be sacrificed and others. Oh, that's what we are supposed to do, and that's what we're not supposed to do. Okay. So anyway, yeah. So activation for premium, and I went for pre Active Directory P1. So we get to see a lot of features. Okay, so that's good. So guys, here resource roles. I'm just gonna go there, and you can see that groups and teams there. So if I click that groups and teams, so add different resources to this access package, specify the permissions associated with that each resource. So okay, first of all, who is allowed? Okay, who is allowed? Well, oh, well, is there sales there? Ha. There you go. So okay, suppose the sales, whoever the members are, will be given access, but we need to just govern that when can they access, when they can ask for access. So let's just select that sales group that we created at the start of the class. Okay, so sales group is added, and if I just click next, and I haven't actually checked the policies here, applications here. So if I click the applications, so there are some applications there as well. So sales group is added. Then I'm just going to add different resources to this access package. Resource could be group or users. It could be, I'm just about to add okay, ServiceNow. I'm just selecting ServiceNow and clicking select here. So it is adding, and now there's a group of users, there is ServiceNow, and then SharePoint sites. If I click that, I pretty much don't have SharePoint sites now because, and it's in preview. Wow, okay, it's also in preview. So I'm just gonna close that, and so resources are users, actually group of users, and an application, right? So but you can see also here search role. If I just go down there, owner role or member role, so they are all members here, and here user role or MSAIM access, which is Microsoft. IAM is identity and access management, right? So ServiceNow has access to Microsoft identity management, which is you can create users and groups and guests, and you can change their username, passwords, and everything. Roles and policies you can also do. I'm going to stick to user here for application. So I have added two resources here within the access package, and I'm clicking next policy. And then there's that policy written there. Create a policy to specify who can request an access package, who can approve requests, and when access expires. Additional request policies can be created. So the thing is that we can just put some of those. So for users in your directory, users who can request access, for users, so specific users and groups, all members, all users. So yeah, we can just go for specific users and groups who can request access to the resources that we have added before, right? So I can just add their add users and groups, and then again I can just go down to some user here. Now these users can request, suppose I just go for Alan Reed here, Alan Reed at AzureGuy.site. This guy, Alan Reed, can request access to that sales group, which was one resource I added, and to that application called ServiceNow. This guy can access or request access to those resources that I added there, right? So if I click select here, Alan Reed is selected. It could be a long list of users or groups there. So if we go further down here, require approval. Well, do you want to require? If I press yes here, so require requester justification. Wow. So requester's justification to actually, users must provide a justification to request an access. What is your justification to even request this access, right? So if you require approval, then it goes really strict, and choose specific approvers. Who is the approver? So I'm just going to click add approvers here, and again, okay, this could be the admin, so I'm just going to add admin here. So admin approves, and admin will ask, hey, why are you even asking access to this? So can you justify that as well? Can this user request ServiceNow access to ServiceNow application or not? And if you approve yes, then that user can request access to that, right? Pretty cool, right? So then click review plus create, and we go ahead. And so the one aspect of identity governance, you're governing how a user, which user can request access to which resources, right? So if I go down here, yes, decision must be made in how many days? By default is 14 days. In 14 days you need to approve that. How many stages? Just one. And approvers are admin. And require approval, yes. Require request for justification, yes. Approvers access package requires requires, seriously, expires never. So enabled, none selected. So I'm just going to click create here. Please fix the errors on the page before continuing. So what is the error? None selected. Okay, I think it's not enabled. Description not entered. Seriously, are you kidding me? Okay, description. Where's the description? Oh, that was I didn't go further down here in the previous page. There was 14 days requester. Expiration was never. And enable policy. So yes, enabled. But if I go further back and back, oh, this. So I'm just going to copy the name to the description and then go ahead. Next, policy next review, and I guess, yeah, it's creating. So the main thing, oh yeah, okay, Quorum was also already saying that. First page. Thank you, sir. Okay, so we get the idea that, okay, ID governance, identity governance is this, that what we did is let the user get access to resources, but get approval first, and then, so you really put ITIL based change management there, who gets to approve, who can be the requesters. You can even choose who can be the requesters. Wow, that's cool, right? Okay, so that's one thing here. New access packages, and if you go back to identity governance, in fact, Azure Guy default directory. So I'm back to this, and if I go back to identity governance, right? So this is it, entitlement management, and we went through that, and we get the idea. Okay, that's what we can do. And then reviews of what you did can be in access reviews. And then privileged identity management, make users eligible for roles so that they only have privileged access when necessary. So again, for how long, you can just go for that. You get the idea from identity governance, that what else you can do here in terms of letting users access resources in a very, very organized way, right? So we get the idea from there, right? So you can just keep on exploring all the other options there, but this is, you can just add it to the security topics there, because nowadays I keep on giving interviews as well. Not nowadays, I just keep on giving interviews for one reason or another. And for Azure interviews, they are really concentrating on security side of it. But obviously, so anyone can create virtual machines there, and VNet networking there, storage, databases for DBAs, but security, right? So that's a great emphasis they put on security. When you get an idea about a feature, try to explore that yourself as well, right? So we're talking about identity governance, and we get the idea. Okay, that's ID governance. You just make sure that which user connects to which resource at what time, and who gets to approve that, right? Now, if we go back to Active Directory here, we were talking about devices, and I hope you will be able to then go for devices. I'm just putting all those topics with the links there, and so we could just see what we have covered there. Enterprise applications, Control C, and we go ahead. Okay, so now roles and administrators, yeah, organization, we get that. So now application proxy is the other one that is under identity governance. If you go to application proxy here, so application proxy provides single sign-on SSO and secure remote access for web applications hosted on premises. So if you have an application there in your local branch, and you log in from that application as well as to Azure with one credential, then it is SSO or single sign-on. To get started and enable application proxy, click here and download a connector. So obviously, which application you want to connect to, and which application this one supports, this interface or feature supports. Okay, there's a picture there from Chrome, and if I drag it here, AD premium or basic license is required to access application proxy. Oh, somebody did not click that. Okay, so oh, that's from Chrome. Okay, so yes, you guys are not able to select that because maybe you did not follow me to activate that. Well, if you want to activate that now, if your account is trial version, so it's okay to activate. I mean, don't be afraid of it. I mean, we're not going to be doing anything that would cause a lot of charging there. uh, so I would recommend that you go ahead and do that. Otherwise, you can see me doing that, and that is also, it's if that's the way you want to look at it. Normally, I just jump into it, I test it, I try to check it out and clarify the concepts just for others to understand, right? So, well, it is grayed out if you did not upgrade that. So, if you upgrade that, it's a trial version, they're not going to charge you anyway. So, application proxy provides, just understand the purpose of that. And purpose is that if you have application, a local application there that you want connected here, when you log into that application, you should be logged into with that same one login. You should be able to log into Azure as well. So then you use this. But if I click that learn more about application proxy, this one, this link, right? So once you go ahead and click that, so it will tell you Active Directory, Azure Active Directory's application proxy provides secure remote access to on-premises web applications. It is all about web applications first of all. After a single sign-on to AzureAD, users can access both cloud and on-premises applications through an external URL or an internal application portal. For example, application proxy can provide remote access and single sign-on to remote desktop, SharePoint, Teams, Tableau, Click, and line of business applications. Now, these are all supposed to be, first of all, web applications. Second thing is that you should be able to, if you've installed SharePoint locally, obviously you would want this single sign-on to be there if you want the users to connect to SharePoint here locally in the branch, and then to the Azure Active Directory as well, and suppose especially for Office 365. So in that case, you can use this application proxy, right? So we understand that, okay, application proxies that you can just have configure a single sign-on for your Azure applications. So I'm just putting that here. Oh, that's a lot of people here. Okay. So remote access to on-premises applications through Azure Active Directory's application proxy. So normally we get to understand that, okay, so if we have local applications which are supposed to be just web applications, and the examples would be remote desktop, SharePoint, Teams, Tableau, Click, and line of business, to name some of them. So if you have those local applications, then you only connect to that, right? So I'll just put that there as well in your chat, right, or chats. So if we go back here to our Azure connectors, so yes, this is a connector. If you have application, go ahead and try to configure that. We don't have any such web application. If you have SharePoint, then you can connect to that with single sign-on, and you have to download connector. Obviously, that application has to be published over the internet first, and then it will only connect with the download connector, right? So we understand what is it for, and let's go ahead with licenses now. So once you click licenses, obviously, what number of licenses you have here. Purchased one product. Seriously, I did not purchase anything, but I can see purchased one product here. I'm sure you're not seeing anything, or maybe you are. So, and that one product, whoa, Azure Active Directory Premium 2. Remember, I just jumped in, and now they're saying I purchased. Oh, you have 3 products? Shumail, really? So, that's strange. But you should see that, oh, P2, E5, okay. Then I should have that too. Okay, license features, nope. I feature available. Okay, features that are available are showing there, but pretty much not. Okay, so there is another picture that came here, and that is showing this enterprise mobility. Oh, you got E5 security. Okay, for trial version 1 month. Ouch. Okay, so that's good. I actually did not go for that activation, but I will be going for that too because you jumped in, so I should jump in as well. So okay, Shumail also did that. Well, that's good, guys, because it's good to try those things, and I'm just going to remove that. Okay, so here, license features, so we get to understand that overview. I have one product. I'm going to be adding the other one as well soon. If I go to license features here, so it's just showing that your subscription, the current license plan for this Azure AD organization is Azure AD Premium 2. So it then supports a lot of features, and those features are showing here. Privileged Identity Manager, or PIM, is also there. Entitlement management. So very interesting features are there that we're going to be exploring. Um, and single sign-on is support for 10 apps with Azure AD free or Office 365 license, no limit for other licenses. Okay. Directory objects, right now what you support is object limit of 500,000 with Azure AD free license, no limit for other licenses. So 500,000 objects you can create. Object is user, group, or anything you create in Active Directory. So if you go down under the licenses, license features to all products, so you can see that's it. You should be, obviously, as you mentioned, that you're seeing 2 or 3 products there. I'm seeing 1, so I'll be soon getting that other one as well. But and then if you go down to self-service sign-up products, nothing here, so the users cannot self-service it. So if you go back to overview, so you say out of 100, so assigned licenses, how many licenses are assigned for this product? So total 100 licenses are available right now. So but it has not been assigned because it is a trial version, right? Okay, so so what we are going down for self-service sign-up products, so there are we haven't purchased any product that where it is self-service and users can just sign up themselves and get the license and try to use that. Many third-party products will be there that you could just put there. When you purchase that, they might show up here for self-service sign-up products. audit logs. If you click that audit logs here, what have we been doing in last 7 days, but and refreshed, nothing found. So there are not much logging activity showing here. If we go down to troubleshoot, then um, I can't access assign licenses to a user or group. A user doesn't have the right licenses. My issue is not listed here. So, typical troubleshooting page, but that would be new support request would be the main that you would be interested in if you are actually stuck in some kind of error there, that you would just create a ticket and the ticket page is right under there. So we go up to the directory, back to the directory as well, and then we go down from licenses to AzureAD Connect, which we already used actually, and we don't have any federation services connected to. Seamless single sign-on is not configured, and pass-through authentication is also not configured here. Just synchronization authentication is there. If we go further down to Azure AD Connect to custom domain names, so you would see just, I guess, 2 of them, while I see 4 of them. So obviously I've been purchasing those domain names there. That's why I'm seeing those here. And then, well, we've gone through that already, how to add a domain, and it's a tenant that has been added here, and we've attached it to our users as well already. So if we go down to mobility, now that is mobile device management and access management as well. So if MDM and MAM are there, now I should have that feature subscription to that, but I'm just gonna go for add application here. What are the applications that I should add here for mobile device management? So obviously AirWatch is one of the top applications that do mobile device management. IBM, so mobile as a service 360, Lightspeed, mobile manager, manage engine. So these are very famous companies. Microsoft Intune, really famous for that. Mirador online, and mobile iron, and on-premises MDM application. So AirWatch is pretty cool, but how about if we add Microsoft Intune here? I'm just gonna click that Microsoft Intune, and publisher is obviously Microsoft here, and sign up for Microsoft Intune. Without that, it's not gonna let you actually add that, which is not good. If I, well, in later stages, we might actually jump into Intune as well, and just to check some of the features inside, explore some of the features inside. When I used to teach SCCM 2012, so at that time I went for Intune as well, just to show some mobile management there. But well, at that time it was cool. Now it is really cool. So, but anyway, let's not go for. I'm so enticed to really do that now. But let's just add. If you click AirWatch here, it would let us add there. If you click the AirWatch and click the add button, it is just a trial version, or it will just appear there. Adding application AirWatch. I hope it does not consider it purchased for me. And if I go to Bell icon or Rogers icon, no, not Rogers, just Bell. Okay, these are 2 ISPs plus telecom providers as well in Canada. Okay, so adding application AirWatch by VMware added successfully. I just added it. I'm not gonna use that because can't afford the license, right? So I'm just gonna go back to mobility MDM and MAM, and I see that AirWatch by VMware is already there for, and that's one of the top-notch mobile device management software. Obviously you have to purchase a license for that. If I click that AirWatch by VMware, so MDM user scope, MDM terms of use URL, and MDM discovery URL. So if you have that application installed, that application can connect to Azure with these URLs. So user scope, if I click all or some users will be having access to that. I click the sum here, and if I go for selected, so which users will have access to that can come here. But pretty much it's just giving a URL. It's not the full application. You have to just go to that application here. So MDM terms of use URL and MDM discovery URL. So these are the 2. but you have to have AirWatch already installed somewhere to connect to with the help of these URLs, right? So I'm just going to go back to this Azure without making any changes. I'm going to go back to MDM. So you can add mobile device management applications here, right? So that's pretty cool. And you can add any of the Azure users to manage these applications or to access the features of these applications as well, right? Now, if we go down further from, because later we're going to go for Intune and just to explore the Intune, but then we're going to check that out. Right now, let's just go down to password reset. And here you obviously do what? Reset password. Okay. So no rocket science here. And authentication methods, diagnose and solve problems. So password reset is not just the only thing it does. If you go to authentication methods, number of methods required to reset, and there is one method, email, mobile phone, or if you click two, so this means that the user has to receive an email and reply to that. User will get a response from mobile phone as well, a requirement, and user has to reply to that. Then the password will be reset. If it's better to make the user's life a bit easy by letting the user either use email or mobile phone instead of going to two areas and responding, and then the user's password gets reset, or any of the two, you can just make a combination of for the user to make their life more difficult than before, right? When they want to reset the password, better stick to one, right? And registration, if you click the registration, so number of days before users are asked to reconfirm their authentication information. So after 180 days, they will be asked to reconfirm authentication. How about if we just make it 1 day? So every day, the user will be reconfirming their authentication. That will be so much fun. But once you click save and go ahead, then obviously maybe next day, maybe they will just give you the door and hey, bye bye. Let's add the next administrator here. So anyway, I'm just going to go back there, and it didn't let me do that as well. These settings only apply to end users in your organization. Admins are always enabled for self-service password reset and are required to use two authentication methods to reset their password. So because it is administrator, so now you can go to the user's account and then go to the password reset and then select that for that user, right? Require users to register when signing in. Okay. So anyway, it's up to you that you want to make the user lives easy or difficult. But when it comes to security, so user friendliness has nothing to do with security. Then we don't care about user friendly interface. Notifications, notify users on password resets. Yes, obviously. Notify all admins when other admins reset their password. Well, up to you. You want to be notified when other admins reset your password. You're also an admin, so it's up to you. But yeah, these are the common options here. Customization, customize help desk link. If there's a help desk link here, we don't have a help desk link. You can just create a URL, a page where help desk phone number and email is there, and then you can just press yes here. But since we don't have a link, we don't need to come here. So on-premises integration, no, we don't have any on-premises connectivity. Actually, unfortunately, it looks like we can't connect to your on-premises write back client right now. Troubleshoot AzureAD Connect to restore the connection. Write back passwords to your own premises directory. So guys, remember that in Azure Active Directory connector, I told you about write back as well, and that is that you can, by default, AADC synchronize from local branch to Azure Active Directory. But if you want the passwords to be written back as well, whatever password you change here in cloud can be written back to down to the local branch as well. So that's that cool feature. Now my server is down. I didn't start that server from which we synchronized the users in last class. So that's why it's saying that hey, I cannot can I communicate with that server. Obviously I shut it down. I did not start it. That's why it cannot communicate. So allow users to unlock accounts without resetting their password. So well, it's up to you. Otherwise, yeah, unlocking accounts can be done. but normally we do that and not the users. Okay, anyway, this feature staying, if it remains no is better, right? And audit logs, if you click the audit logs, obviously, again, if there was some log files created, it will show here. It's still loading and it did not find anything, so no log files yet, no activity recorded yet. That's what usage and insights. So this is very good, that if you want to know that how much of usage of multi-factor authentication, user registered for multi-factor authentication, how many? None. Oh really? I have 2 users. Okay. Users registered for self-service password reset, none. Users enabled for self-service password reset. Users who can reset their own passwords, none of them. Seriously? Okay. Usage, nothing. Okay. So, well, I think I have one user enabled with multi-factor authentication, registered for multi, but in fact 2 users, and it's not showing any. So this feature is currently in preview. Seriously, always read the message above. So it's in preview, it's not yet working. Okay, we get that now. So, and you can create a ticket for that too, for password reset, if it's not working. So we can go down to, or go up to Azure Active Directory, and then we see there password reset. Then there is company branding. Woohoo! Yay! So if you click the company branding here, configure the text and graphics your users see when they sign into Azure Active Directory. And it is not configured, but you can just put a welcome sign here if you want the users when they log in, and they should say something. So if we click configure here, and so sign in page background image, and then select a file, banner, logo, and then JPG, username, hint, sign in page text. So you can just put here, welcome to Azure Active Directory, and we provide free lunch every day for rest of your life, right? And then just way down somewhere, just kidding. Okay, so anyway, you can just put any welcome sign here, and that would just appear there. And advanced settings, sign in page background color, square logo. So that's pretty cool. You can just put the company logo and some welcome sign there, and I'm gonna click save here. Oh, sign in page text. So I will be seeing that free lunch is offered every day. Okay. But anyway, company branding, you can just upload your logos and introduction to that. User settings, if you go there, finally, so app registrations, enterprise applications manage how end users launch and view their applications. App registrations, users can register applications. Yes, of course they should be, but up to the company compliance policy. Administration portal, restrict access to Azure AD administration portal. Well, not for admins, so no. Let's a non-administrator use this Azure AD administration portal experience to access Azure AD resources that the user has permission to read or manage resources they own. Yes, restricts all non-administrators from accessing any user AD data in the administration portal, but does not restrict such access using PowerShell. So guys, it says, so in English what it means is that if you put yes there, so end user or non-administrator users will not be able to see this Azure Active Directory services, but it is on no, so even non-administrators can see all these Active Directory features as well, but they won't be able to use them. They will be able to see them. They will still be able to see them, right? If you go further down here, LinkedIn account connections. Seriously, wow. Allow users to connect their work or school account with LinkedIn. Okay, work or school account for Azure. They can connect it to LinkedIn as well. Data sharing between Microsoft and LinkedIn is not enabled until users consent to connect their Microsoft work or school account with their LinkedIn account. Okay. Well, it's on yes, and yeah, you could just connect your Azure account to LinkedIn, and LinkedIn contacts you can see here as well. That's pretty cool. External users, manage external collaboration settings. Okay, So how you want external users? So you haven't created a user here within Active Directory. They are external users. Maybe they are Gmail users. Maybe they are Facebook users, or some other company. ServiceNow is a separate application. You create users there as well, suppose. So those users can do they have permissions to connect to Azure resources? So there's that external users here. Let's click that manage external collaboration settings. So guest users permissions are limited. Yes, and yes means that guests do not have permission for certain directory tasks such as enumerate users or search users, groups or other directory services. No means that guests have the same access to directory data that regular users have in your directory. So right now it is limited and they cannot even search a lot of things because if they're guest users or outsiders or their accounts are not created inside Azure Active Directory. Admins and users in the guest inviter role can invite. Yes. So if there are admins there, so you can see that yes means that admins and users in the guest inviter role will be able to invite guests to the tenant. So we haven't actually created that guest account, but when we do, we'll see that all these permissions are okay. Members can invite, yes. Whoever are the members of the groups can invite. Guests can invite, yes. Yes means that guests in your directory can themselves invite other guests to collaborate on resources secured by your AzureAD. So suppose one guest has been given access to VirtualMachine. That guest from Gmail or Yahoo can invite other Gmail users to collaborate on that virtual machine as well. So you have allowed here, or Microsoft has allowed here, press yes, but it's up to you. You want to disallow or not, right? So okay, so and then enable email one-time passcode for guests, and this is in preview. OTP for guests is in preview after you have opted into the preview. Your new invited guests who neither own an AzureAD or Microsoft account nor can log in with Google Federation will be authenticated seamlessly with an email code round trip as a first factor authentication. No need for them to create a new account. Guests who authenticate with an email OTP stay logged in for 24 hours. So what it's saying in English is that if they are not Google Federation users, if they're not Azure AD users, they're not even they don't even have Microsoft account there, still they will be able to log in with one-time passcode for 24 hours. Okay, but it's in preview, it's not yet activated. But that's like, hey, it's a party, anyone can come now. Woohoo! Well, of course, there will always be permissions there or securities there, but you have to really check that, do your homework, test it with some outside user account, and then go ahead and press yes. So collaboration restrictions allow invitations to be sent to any domain, most inclusive. So deny invitations to the specified domains. If you click that, so then it shows, hey, do you want invitations to be denied to a specified domain? And we can just go for, suppose, gmail.com. Suppose you put that there. So any invitation from Microsoft users to Gmail users will be denied. So whichever domain you put there, that will be definitely denied. So I'm just going to delete that. And but you can say deny, allow invitations only to the specified domains, most restrictive. So if you click that, you can still that you can invite only to gmail.com and no one else, right? Or outlook.com users, you can invite those. It's example.com or example.com or example. Yeah, okay. Oh yeah, it's the second screen. I should be putting that, not in the same screen. So, and then other could be outlook.com, right? So only these users you can invite to and no one else you can invite from any other domain. So that's most restrictive, but I'm just going to delete that and delete that as well. And we go for most inclusive or least restrictive. which is allow invitations to be sent to any domain. But we understand the others as well, right? So deny invitation to specific or allow invitation from to specific, right? So we understand that these are the options there for guest accounts and for those who are collaborating from outside. And you can just restrict certain domains. Maybe your rival company's domains you can add there. Suppose you're an insurance company, so other rival insurance companies, you cannot send an invitation to any of the employees whose email end with the domain name that is for rival company, right? So I'm just going to discard this because I've made tried to make some changes there. I'm going to discard those changes, right? And then we're going back to user settings here. Now if we go down to properties here, so that is the overall Active Directory properties here. And directory properties, default directory, Canada, location, United States data centers. So our nearest data centers are US East data centers. And then there is that technical contact is this, and global privacy contact or privacy statement URL. We haven't created that. Access management for Azure resources. So this account can manage access to all Azure subscriptions and management groups in this directory. And it is set to no right now. Are you kidding me? Is it yes? Can manage access to all Azure subscriptions and management groups in this directory. Yeah, I'm the root account, right? Am I not? Okay. So, just to have no surprises here, although I'm just so tempted to just press yes here, and I'll click save. Updating properties successfully, yeah. Oh, and yeah, I'm in a premium account. You know what? Because I want to keep a trial, I'm just gonna go no. So if I'm in premium, it doesn't seem like it's ready to premium, but I'll not take any risks and chances. Later, I should not be billed $550 for you because you pressed yes to that. Well, anyway, I do have access to all the resources anyway and subscriptions. Notification settings, if we go there, you want to be notified? Yes. Weekly status and educational content email, it's on yes. Service notifications, new feature availability, no. That's strange. Okay, I'll put yes here. I want to know new features of Azure, definitely. Product research, nope. Contact email is this. Okay, we're good. So I've just enabled that, hey, tell me at least new features of this, right? If we go down here, then it's monitoring only sign-ins. If we click the sign-ins, so who signed in all this time, who have been signing in all this time. So that's pretty good. And you can see very cool thing here, your public IP. Wow. So which user connected from where, and his or her public IP. Amazing, right? And which location, it's maybe it's getting from user profile or actual location that we put there, or it's actually going for, you know, through the public IP and locating us. So if we log in from some Tim Horton or from some coffee shop here, or from some restaurant, then log into from your cell phone to Azure, then you can also see that. Does it locate that? Interesting, right? Okay, anyway, so this is sign-ins who have been signing into Azure. Very good data there that you can download monthly and check that who from where. Okay, so there's a screenshot here now, and okay, so identity secure score. Oh, okay. So no, actually you're talking about conditional access. Okay, so which area you're allowed to log in from and which area you're not allowed, that can be put in conditional access. But how about you have access to connect from everywhere, and does it locate that area if you're connected from some other area or from some other? Obviously I'm sure it's gonna locate the public IP, right? And that is good enough. Suppose I do connect from a restaurant and through my cell phone or my laptop connected to the Wi-Fi, so that restaurant's public IP should be there, right? That's what I'm looking for. So otherwise, yes, we can restrict any that the users can connect from this public IP and that public IP. Yes, that we can do. So in fact, that's coming in the security. Guys, I'm just gonna go for audit logs here, and now thank God they have audit logs for at least this, because we have done so much here. Well, whatever we have done, it is showing all those activities when it was done, and what service was used. So Azure Active Directory connector was used, and if I click load more, it just, oh well, for you it would be not that much, because this account I've been using pretty much for 4 years now. So, and if I go way down, it's still 2019, and I'm regularly using that account for pretty much everything. And but if I just keep going down, it might go down to, oh, that's it. Okay, it's not loading more. So 2019, 7, 10, that's it. Until that, it has the log files. Maybe it's other log files, older log files have been deleted. Okay. So anyway, audit logs are full there, or are there and this is for last 24 hours. Seriously, what's wrong with me? So if I click that, and last 7 days, last 1 month, then it will just check all the last 1 month. If I click apply, now it should be loading all last 1 month old, or custom time would just take us to that. Okay, then load more should just, show all that. But anyway, last month and which service you want to check, just the Active Directory service or any other service that was used and what time it was used. Very cool feature here for monitoring exact details, who used what at what time. So, and then you can download that too, right? And provisioning logs, so this is just what you've provisioned, deployed, but this is a preview service. Later it's going to be in action soon, but right now nothing much. Logs, when we go for logs, so log analytics integration not enabled. This Azure Active Directory tenant is not currently enabled to send logs to log analytics. Please click the link below to learn about how to turn on this feature. Read about AAD integration with log analytics. So you can send logs to that service, log analytics, and it will give you much more deeper information, diagnostic information about what's going on with timestamp, obviously. But you have to enable that service, and obviously they're going to charge you for that. Diagnostic settings, if you go there, so separately add diagnostic setting, click add diagnostic setting above to configure the collection of the following data: audit logs and sign in logs. Now we already have sign in configured here, right? But you want to go in detail: name, storage account, event hub, log analytic, edit setting. If you have enabled log analytics, then better. And log analytics will also gather these diagnostic logs for details. These are more detailed. Sign-ins I thought was detailed, but this will be even further detailed log files. But if I click add diagnostic setting here, archive to a storage account, it's going to create a storage account. I would not want to do that now. But it's going to create a storage account, and when you create a storage account, they do charge you for that, right? So stream to an event hub, send to log analytics. So audit logs, sign in logs, but these are really detailed logs. In a production environment, after approval from the boss, I would just start it. So we would know much more details about all the activities of Active Directory here, right? So, and that would be really beneficial, right? And it says here, in order to export sign-in data, your organization needs Azure Active Directory P1 or P2 license. If you don't have a P1 or P2, start a free trial. So it didn't know that I already started that, right? So I'm just going to close out from here, but I would really want to go for that if it's a critical asset, and especially when the boss is asking, hey, yes, all security measures, please implement them, especially monitoring measures. So this is one of those where detailed log activity will be stored in a separate storage account that will create for it. So pretty cool. And I'm going to close there. Workbooks, log analytics integration not enabled. Again, Azure Active Directory tenant is not currently enabled to log analytics. So workbooks is again going to show all the log files there, and well, it's saying that, hey, enable that, enable that, enable that. So you might, if you want, if you have a trial account with $250, go ahead and enable that. But it's going to just give you detailed log files, which is, and it's going to create a storage account for you as well. So pretty much some of the services are related to each other. If you get that enabled, then detailed logs will be created and they will be stored in storage account, and storage account charges will be sent to you, right? And if we go to usage and insights, another monitoring area there, AzureAD application activity. These are your most active applications. See which ones have a low sign-in success rate. Low sign-in success rate. So Azure portal successful sign-ins 8, failed sign-ins 0. Very, very cool, right? So this is something that you really want to know, who was trying to sign in and was failing multiple times. You would really want to investigate that, because it would be hacking attempt as well, and guessing the password attempt as well, right? So this is very cool area to look for and get reports of how many successful sign-ins and how many failed sign-ins, right? So, and then there's authentication methods activity. Again, this feature is in preview, and it just shows the same thing we were seeing in a monitoring activity before as well. So if we go further down, yes, that's the same activity for multi-factor authentication, self-service, password reset, users registered, users enabled, and users who can reset their own password. So pretty important area here as well. I'm just going to go back here, and we were talking about all those, and then down there is troubleshoot. If you click troubleshoot, that is a lot of options that it can show you, that what are the extra troubleshooting options that you should have in your mind. So problems adding or configuring applications, synchronization issue with specific user group or contact object, synchronization services is started. So definitely, you, whatever your issue is, you can just go down to troubleshoot and click that. Suppose I click that first one here, troubleshoot. So now that's a lot of options that we should know that this also can happen, and our mind should have that, those kind of options in our, just to troubleshoot as well. But the thing is that it just increases your knowledge, right? So I'm just gonna close that, and this is troubleshoot area. So pretty much what we are talking about here is all the features of Azure Active Directory, a major portion, major section, major service of the Azure itself. We're going to be coming back and forth to it just to do some more of the exercises. Right now, let's go quickly from Azure Active Directory to virtual machines here. This one, virtual machines. Let's click a virtual machine here, and once we are in a virtual machine, you can see that there is no virtual machine, and there better not be, because then you'll be charged. So better to keep an eye on that. Let's just click the add button here to create a virtual machine. Let's click a add button here to create a virtual machine, right? Once you click the add button, so then starts the wizard, and that wizard is all about what you want in an virtual machine. Now first thing is that it would want to know what is a resource group there. Very, very important feature here, that you need to create a resource group. Is just like a container where all the resources can be grouped together. Suppose you created 20 virtual machines, 200 virtual machines. So if you define or name a resource group now, and you attach all these 200 virtual machines to that one resource group that we're about to create here, so at the end of, when you're done with your work with the 200 virtual machines, instead of deleting those virtual machines one by one, you come to this resource group, you just delete that one resource group, all the virtual machines attached to it will be deleted alongside this resource group, right? So this is really, really important. So when we are creating any resources onwards, we will be attaching it to that day's resource group, right? So let's just click the create new here, and once you click create new, so let's just go for 07 October 2019 dash RG, right? resource group. So it's today's date and resource group, you can just name it anything you want, right? So once we click the resource group here, press OK, or once we name it, and then I was recording all this time, right? Yeah. Okay, so then first of all, resource group, this is very, very critical that you create that. It's not gonna let you go ahead anyway. So if we go back to go ahead with virtual machine name here, so let's just create a virtual machine name, your first name, VM01, right? Your first name, VM01, and then region, what region you want to create it into. There's Canada East here, and if we go down here, there's US East, and then US East 2, right? So I'll just stick to US East for one reason, and that is that US East data centers have pretty much all the features that we need, pretty much all the advanced features as well. If we stick to this Canada East or any other country, we have to just make sure that all advanced features are there or not, and we tested with Canada East, some of the features are not there in the data centers. Some of the services advanced features are not there, right? So let's stick to, and just make a rule of thumb for this course, just select US East only when you are creating any resource and it asks for a region, right? So now then there is that availability options here, and that availability option is Azure offers a range of options for managing availability and resiliency for your applications. Architect your solution to use replicated VMs in availability zones or availability sets to protect your apps and data from data center outages and maintenance events. So what's going on here? First of all, there's one region, suppose US East, it would have 2 to 8 availability zone. Now each availability zone could be like Toronto and Greater Toronto area, or Detroit and Greater Detroit area, right? It's like that. So within the Greater Detroit area, Greater Toronto area, you would have then 2 to 8 data centers, and each data center would have 100,000 machines or up to 300,000 machines or servers, right? So that's how huge that whole infrastructure is. Now you can just have VMs replicated in availability zone. So that's pretty cool that you can have one machine in one availability zone within US East, and its copy could be running on an other availability zone, right? So I'm just going to click here and learn more. I'm going to click that as well. Availability set is a logical grouping of VMs within a data center that allows Azure to understand how your application is built to provide for redundancy and availability. So we recommend that 2 or more VMs are created within an availability set to provide for a highly available application and to meet 99.95% Azure SLA. There is no cost for the availability set itself. You only pay for each VM instance that you create. When a single VM is using Azure Premium SSDs, the Azure SLA applies for unplanned maintenance events. Now, the main thing here is there are availability sets, and they talk about fault domains and update domains. So a fault domain is a logical group of underlying hardware that share a common power source and network switch. Okay, let me explain first of all what is fault domain and where it is. Let's just go back here. If you're there in availability options, let's select drop down here, and you can see availability zone and availability set. Now availability zone would be that across the zone you have a copy of your virtual machine, which is better, which is good. But if you don't want to spend that kind of money, you can go for availability set. So let's go for availability set first and then check it out. So availability set is there, and that availability set says that, hey, can you just create a new one? So let's click the create new. Once you click create new here, so you can just put there test dash availability set. But what is it? So there is a fault domain written there, and there is a update domain written there. So I'm just gonna quickly go to the diagram here and create that. So suppose you have one data center, and in that data center there is a rack, right? So this is suppose a server rack. On this server rack, you have, so I'll just quickly grab some servers here. So suppose HP server, and go for images, and go for some HP server. Okay, that's an HP server, and copy that. So you have some HP servers here, and they are inside the rack, right? So what happens is, they have, and you have multiple racks here in the data center, obviously. So if I just create one, and this is a second rack, right? So either it would have a UPS, so UPS, okay, Hydro, and UPS is uninterrupted power supply. Whoa, okay, that's why I just put Hydro. Okay. So I'll just type it uninterrupted power supply. Okay, now it better give me not the pants, something else. Okay, so there you go. So suppose that's a UPS that you have, and that UPS is there. Though that's a uninterrupted power supply, and there's a UPS here as well for this rack. And then obviously I just need one network switch. So Cisco switch, and there's a Cisco switch here. So you have a Cisco switch here as well, and Cisco switch here as well, right? So what happens is that if you are trying to first of all, if you've ever heard of SPOF before, so there is SPOF. Ever heard of SPOF before? Anyone knows what's the meaning of SPOF? Yes, you're right, exactly. Actually, nobody said anything. So it's single point of failure. Ha. Okay. So it's a single point of failure, right? So SPOF is single point of failure. What it says here is that, okay, oh, no, okay, single point of failure here. So that is that this hardware, there could be a hardware SPOF. So suppose this rack can be connected to just one power supply and just one switch. In case that switch dies, so that switch just goes down, the whole rack will go down, right? In case this power supply UPS goes down, the whole rack goes down, or the one switch goes down, the whole rack goes down, right? So Microsoft says that if you want availability set there, so that would mean that if you create one virtual machine here on our rack in one data center, we will create its partner machine on the other rack in the same data center. So if that rack has a SPOF, so your virtual machine, in case of outage of the whole rack, it will just fail over. The active machine will fail over to the passive machine, and passive will become active. So it says that you want fault domain, you want availability set. Availability set feature is free, and it's going to just fail over. So when you create multiple machines here, 1 2 3 4 5 7 machines, so all their partner machines, passive machines, will be created across another rack. So then this is going to be your fault domain, where one rack and second rack is the two racks are in the fault domain. One has the active machine, and second has the partner passive or standby machine. One rack goes down, the machine just fails over the service to the other machine, right? So that is called fault domain. So fault domain in Azure, right? So they're saying that fault domain feature, you want that, so we can just give you that feature. And when we go fault domains and update domains, that is, if you, an update domain is a logical group of underlying hardware that can undergo maintenance or be rebooted at the same time. So as you create VMs within an availability set, the Azure platform automatically distributes your VMs across these update domains. This approach ensures that at least one instance of your application always remains running as the Azure platform undergoes periodic maintenance. So, in English, what it means is that if you have your one machine on top of a hardware here, so if you go back to this diagram, your one machine is on this top of hardware, and so their copy will be created here as well. Its copy will be created here as well. Now, this server needs an update, so this server will reboot, so the service of this machine will go to that standby copy. Standby will become active, and because it is rebooting, so that machine will not be available. But your end users will not know that, oh, we've just failed over to a copy here. And then suppose this server needs to be updated and need to be rebooted after patching, so it will just fail over to this copy where end users are still working with the same machine. But you can just have update domain and fault domains configured this way, right? I hope you understand what's going on here. The main thing is, do we understand or not, right? So fault domains and update domains are there and they are free to use. So I'm just going to press OK here. And image, so that's Ubuntu server. So I'm just going to go up to 2019 data center here. And once that is configured, 2019 data center, it's 1 vCPU, 3.5 GB memory. There are many images, many other images here as well. And then there's change size. Let's click the change size here. And change size just lets you check which size you want, right? So there is B1S, B1MS, B1LS, B1MS, B1S, and it has 1 vCPU, 0.5 GB RAM, up to all that other. So you want to go for any of the sizes there, you can just go for select that machine, and it will select the RAM, processor, how much IOPS, input output per data per second, how much IOPS you need there, read and write, and then it shows you the price. Yay! So this is the price that it is showing you here, right? I think for us it has selected DS1 underscore V2, and its price is just $119. So I'm just going to close that, and all these VM size B1, B2S, are they named as per Azure standard? Yes, the Zaka, they are following the Azure standard for that. And DS1 V2, seriously, I'm gonna click change size here. So definitely these are just Azure standards. These are not international standards, or there are no open standards for that. So well, if since I selected Windows 19 2019, so it just went for that. But we're not going to keep it for long, so I'm just gonna keep it selected here. And the password, username, password, whatever you want to put there. So you can just go for your first name, admin, and you can go for password, small ABC, capital ABC, shift 123, and simple 123. So what is that password? Normally I give that password as a class password. So normally I use this password, small ABC, capital ABC, shift 123, and simple 123, right? Now this is a complicated enough password, or it passes the complex password requirement of Azure. But this password has been used by so many students in so many colleges that Azure has banned this password as well. So here I'm just going to put small ABC, capital C, 123, and simple 123, especially in Office 365 classes. Now here it is accepting, so it is okay. But when you go for Office 365, if you go for Office 365, then they don't accept this password, right? So many times. Okay guys, if you go further down here, there's inbound port rules here. So which traffic you want to allow to this machine and which traffic you do not want to allow to be this machine. So we can click the allowed selected ports, and then select one or more ports here, and I'm just going to go for RDP because that's a remote desktop protocol, right? RDP, because that's a Windows machine. So now save money. If you've got your license you purchased already, then that's good. You can just get that license here to use that. So allowed selected points, ports, not points. RDP, obviously we're going to connect through Windows machine with RDP. Now let's click the disks here. Once we click the disks, and there's a premium SSD. They're saying right now enable ultra disk compatibility. It's in preview. Ultra disk compatibility is not available for this VM size and location. So but there are standard disks. There's standard HDD, there is standard SSD, and then there's premium SSD. It's all about how much of performance you need here. If I click standard HDD, it says here the selected VM size supports premium disks. We recommend premium SSD for high input output per second or IOPS workloads. Virtual machines with premium SSD disks qualify for the 99.9% connectivity service level agreement or SLA. So they're saying that, hey, you used choose Windows 2019 and you're using HDD. Really? Are you kidding me? So then I go for standard SSD, and it still says that what you chose there as an operating system needs premium SSD. So can you just not can you just get serious? So I'm just gonna say, yeah, okay, I'm serious now. Premium SSD. Then it comes down to that data disk. You can add and configure additional data disks for your virtual machine or attach existing disks. So we're going to attach later existing disks as well. But if you go further down here in advanced, you can see here use managed disks or not. So managed disks is what? For best performance, reliability, scalability, and access control, we recommend Azure managed disks for most virtual machine configurations. Use unmanaged disk if you need to support certain classic scenarios or want to manage disk VHDs in your own storage account. So if you want Microsoft to manage your disks and keep it highly available, then keep it yes. If you want to manage disks yourself, and if you want to upload from local branch a disk VHD from Hyper-V virtual machine and upload it here and then attach it to a virtual machine, then you click no, right? So we for now want the disk to be managed by Microsoft, right? So it's okay. And the selected image is too large for the OS cache of the selected instance. So right now it's saying that if you want to cache cache service as well, it's not good to use it with Windows Server 2019. Networking. If you click networking here, then there is a virtual network or the VNet. It has created already a VNet where inside VNet we are working right now. We're going to create our own VNets later as well, but right now it's just a VNet provided by the subscription of Azure. So and then the subnet is also provided with 10.0.0/24, and public IP will be provided to this machine. So if we go further down here, NIC network security group, and then there is that if you want to add network interface card separately, so you can just add as many network cards here. Also now there is security group. If we it's not NIC or network cards, it is security group, guys. Security group is going to allow you to actually allow ports and deny ports. So let's click the advanced option here. Once you click the advanced option, so it says that, hey, you want to create a new security group. I just want to show you what is a security group. Security group is like a firewall. It allows and denies ports to the virtual machine. Security group attaches to a virtual machine, right? Although we have allowed RDP port in the previous screen, but security group does that and as well, and you can just do it if you want a full wizard asking. So let's click the create new just to check that what is security group offering here. So inbound rule you can configure here, and outbound rule. So inbound we have already selected RDP here, but if I click add an inbound rule here, so then it will ask that, hey, which port exactly do you want allowed, which port exactly do you want not allowed, and source, who are from where connecting, people connecting to your machine, or from which IP ranges are people connecting to this machine, or what service tag is used and I'm gonna let them connect to this machine, right? So source is any. Otherwise, if you put in IP address range, the public IP of suppose Toronto branch or Detroit branch or any other branch, so it will not allow anyone else other than the Toronto branch users to connect to this virtual machine, right? So it goes in depth with you want to go for TCP, UDP, ICMP protocol as well. Action is allowed or denied, and what is the port here? Right now it is 8080, which is actually no port. So but you can just allow 1433, you can allow port 80 only, HTTP, right? So it goes in depth when you introduce traffic with security groups, right? So I'm just going to cancel out from here just to show that it has a lot of options here to add ports, and in later labs we're going to be using actually security groups. So click close here and close here as well and go for basic. So we have already defined RDP port in the previous class, so basic is okay. Public inbound ports, allowed selected ports is RDP already, we're good. If we go further down here, so accelerated networking, the selected VM sizes does not support accelerated networking. So it's right now, Windows 2019 does not support more faster networking. And then there is that load balancing. You can place this virtual machine in the backend pool of an existing Azure load balancing. Now that's a separate upcoming lab, how to load balance, how to use the load balancer, and we're gonna do the load balancing, and we're going to check it on the virtual machines. It's gonna be pretty cool. But right now we're not using any load balancer. Let's click management. And your subscription is protected by Azure Security Center Basic Plan, which is okay. Security Center Basic Plan, we're going to be talking about that later. Boot diagnostics, it's going to capture serial console output and screenshots of the virtual machine running on a host to help diagnose startup issues. That's very cool. So if the machine is starting and it sometimes Windows machine says that, oh, the file is missing or corrupt, so it can take a screenshot of exactly which file is missing, right? But for now we do not need boot diagnostic, and in fact it creates problems more than it resolves them. So I'm just going to click off to that. Just turn it off. If you're following me, please turn it off. So OS guest diagnostics, then this is it, and it's going to give you metrics of the operating system of Windows Server 2019. Identity, system assigned manage identity, and that is you can just attach it to get authenticated from Azure Active Directory as well, and you can also just authenticate to cloud services Azure Key Vault without storing credentials in code. So you can just also assign as encryption key to it as an encrypted virtual disk as well. But basically it's a system assigned managed identity enables Azure resource to authenticate to cloud services. So Azure will make sure that it is our machine or not. It's going to authenticate that. Auto shutdown, enable auto shutdown. If you want this machine to be shut down automatically at certain time, you can do that. I'm going to turn it off. Backup, you can enable backup. If I click on here, so it says create new backup, which vault you want to create a backup. Recovery services vault, very important. We're going to be doing that lab separately, and you have to create a separate resource group or existing resource group and backup policy. I'm just not going to open backup, but we're going to do a separate backup lab there, right? And let's click advanced. So in advanced, you can see here cloud init, and that is for widely used approach to customize a Linux VM. So if you want to customize install packages in Linux VM, you use cloud init feature. We don't have a Linux VM, we have a Microsoft VM. Also, Azure dedicated hosts allow you to provision and manage a physical server within our data centers that are dedicated to your Azure subscription. That's the point here, guys. Dedicated to your Azure subscription. So the main thing here is that if you want to pay more and you say that, hey, on the hardware where you're putting my virtual machine, do not put any other company's virtual machines there, right? So that's it. You want a separate hardware just dedicated for your own virtual machine, you pay some more, and Azure will provide you a dedicated hardware that is no other company's machines will be added there, right? VM generation 2 VMs preview support features such as UEFI based boot architecture, increased memory, and OS disk size limits. Intel Software Guard Extensions, SGX, and Virtual Persistent Memory, VPMEM. So you can see that still Generation 2 VMs are in preview, but if you click Generation 2, wow. So do not yet support some Azure platform features, including VM backup, Azure Site Recovery, or Azure Disk Encryption. So better stick to Generation 1 because Generation 2 is still in beta. So let's go for next tags. You can put tags here just to identify that which machine is there. So for example, department and sales, right? So you can just put branch Toronto. You can just put anything else you want here, right? So now let's just click review plus create. Save password, never. So it's saying that 0.161 cents per hour, Canadian dollar per hour, it will charge, and I'll be deleting that soon. So, but anyway, let's just click the create button here. After, it could have been a 5-minute lab, but we took half an hour because we need to understand the features, obviously. So let's click create. The main thing is, do we understand what we're talking about, right? Click is not the purpose, but that's the second most important thing still. That how to do that, but obviously what features are there, why they're there, what's the purpose of that. That's the main thing to understand, right? So if that has been created here, now our best friend Bell here is saying that it is in progress, deployment in progress, deployment to resource group is there. Now guys, we created this virtual machine, but we have to delete it now. Or, okay, let's just try to connect to it and then delete it. Because it's 9:59 p.m. here. And it's still deploying. So all you need to do is, when it is created and powered on, just connect to it and log in. Take a screenshot and put it on WhatsApp. So the virtual machine is still creating. And I'm going to go to the virtual machines area as well. And I'm going to click that virtual machines area. And there's my virtual machine here, and it's still creating. It's not TID, it's TING. Well, either we can just delete it now, and then in next class we connect to the virtual machine, and then we create a virtual machine quicker in next class, and then connect to it, and then go for other services as well, or we keep on going until we connect. It's up to you. It's 10 o'clock now, and I'm about to have a big yawn. So what's the verdict here? We wait for the machine to be created and connect to it, or we just shut down the machine now and go for it later. And in next class, I think we can do it in next class. Yeah. See, so many are yawning here, especially me. Oh, okay, so there's that picture. Hey, why did I delete that? Wow, Shumaila has created that. So guys, oh seriously, it's deployed now, and if I go inside, so guys, we need to check virtual machine all the features here on the left side. So that's why it's going to be a long one. So that's why connecting to it is just you click the connect button here, and and if you download RDP, okay guys, just give me one more minute. Okay, so here, autoscaler, AWS object. Just recording that, but if you want to go ahead, you can go, and I'll just finish that. How to connect to that. Just want to show you the last step here, and I'm saving that RDP connection, and it has a public IP, and I'll just connect to that RDP connection. It pops up. It asks for, hey, what's the username and password? So remember that it was your first name admin, and then the password was small abc, capital abc, shift 123 and triple 123, and press OK. Yes, self-signed certificate. There you go. We're connected. Now connecting it was not that big deal, but yes. So if you are connected, you're cool. But the thing is that after that, we're going to explore all the features here, right? In your experience, if these resource group are not deleted for whatever error, does Microsoft compensate for it? Oh, so Zaka says that if the resource group does not delete for some error, so you have to resolve that error, otherwise contact support right away. But if it's a trial account, they will compensate. If it's a pay-as-you-go, then good luck. They will charge, unless they are having some policy to still compensate. Oh man, it's pay-as-you-go? Ouch. Oh, yeah, it's just that you're using it, so the support is not that generous in Azure. AWS and Google, they are very generous people, but not this one. And most jobs are for Azure out there. So yeah, it's kind of that. So if pay as you go, we have to be more careful. Although I'm not careful, and just for showing all the features, I'm taking a lot of risks here. But anyway, yeah, we need to learn, right? So I'm just gonna delete the resource group. So guys, let's go to the resource group here, and instead of deleting the machine, why don't we just delete the resource group? So I'm just going to the resource group here. Once it is, and then select that 07 October 2019 RG, and then on the right side there's a three dots here, and delete resource group, and there we're good. Woohoo! Yay! Okay. It asked for what is the name of the resource group, so I'll just copy that resource group from up there and paste it here, and delete. And the bell icon says deleting resource group. Yay! Okay. So, well, that's it. Any questions, let me know. Otherwise, see you 6:55 sharp next week. And we're going to explore all the features of virtual machine, but there are much more bigger labs coming. Load balancer, scale sets, and Active Directory joining the domains. A lot of labs. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Zuka. Bye-bye. All right, see you. Okay, now I'm just gonna disconnect this. And deleting resource, it is deleting. Okay, we'll stop recording now.